Substitute misconception. Okay, we have a sequence, we have a chord progression, a 2-5-1, G minor 7th, C 7th to F major 7th. In time. Okay, those three chords are in the same key. Sometimes they tell you over the 5 chord, which is the C 7th, to substitute the tritone substitute, F sharp 7th in this case. So you would go. Okay, now the roots of those chords are a sharp 4th interval apart, 3 whole steps. So therefore they call it tritone substitute. Okay, now the thing about that is there's more to it than that, okay? Every chord is part of something, okay? It's not just an isolated nothing. Like the C 7th is part of the key of F, the F sharp is part of the key of B, okay? It's the 5 chord, if you want to look at it that way. There's a lot of other ways to look at it, but it's 5 chord of the key of B. So now let's just take a look at that C 7th for a second, okay? And the G minor 7th and the C 7th, just to back up a second, create tension because those chords contain the note B flat, okay, the 4th note of the F major scale. If you take a G minor 7th, the reason why it feels like it wants to resolve out to the F, like it's got some life, it wants to resolve out. I mean, that's what they tell you. But it's just because of the fact that you're taking out the B flat and it turns into an A, which is a half step away from the B flat when you're on the F major 7th chord. So if you go G minor 7th, it'll resolve out to F. If you just take out the B flat, you don't even have to go to the F chord because you get a resolved F just by taking out the B flat. Oh, okay, there's a F major unresolved, F major resolved. You took out that one note. C 7th, that has the B flat in it also, okay? Play the C 7th chord, take out the B flat, you have a resolved F, okay? So the B flat, just the B flat major 7th chord, right? Take out B flat major 7th chord, take out the B flat, you have a resolved F, okay? You say, well, that doesn't sound like an F. Well, if the bass player was playing an F, it would sound like an F, you know? Okay, in any case, the 2 and the 5 create tension going to the 1 only because they have the B flat note in it. The other chords that have the B flat note in it would be the B flat major 7th, okay, the C 7th, the G minor 7th, and the E minor 7 flat 5. They all have the note B flat, so they all feel like they want to resolve out to the 1 chord, okay? So B flat major 7th to A minor 7th. A minor 7th has no B flat, so it's a substitute for the 1. You can also resolve it to the 6th chord, around which a lot of tunes are built, because that no longer has that note also does not have the B flat note. Okay, so B flat major 7th to C 7th to F, G minor 7th to F, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. I mean E minor 7 flat 5 to F. Okay, so now these are all names too. The B flat note is basically trying to resolve out to the F. So what we have here is all the chords in the key that have the B flat note are just names of different ways of hearing notes in the B flat in the F major scale that have the note B flat in them. So you can take a B flat note basically and surround it with other notes of the F major scale, and you really have a 2-5-1. So I'll take this note, B flat, and put this in and this in. Now if I take that note out, I have a resolved F. It's very subtle resolution instead of big resolution like it's. Okay, take the B, put your fingers on a B flat note, surround it with other notes of the F major scale. An unresolved F chord, which will resolve out to an F just by taking the B flat note out. Or make it sound more like an F. Anyways, you can now interchange any of those 4 chords using any colors that you could add to them, 9, 11, or 13, primarily the ones that are in the key of F. Those are the ones you should do first. You could add a 9th to the G minor, 9, 11, or 13 to the G minor, 9 or 11 or 13 to the C 7th, B flat major 7, 9 sharp, 11 or 13 to the E minor 7 flat 5, flat 9, 11 or flat 13, and you'll have various ways of creating a 2-5, which is tension, going to F, which is your rest. Okay, I'll do a few of them. F, G minor 7. Instead of playing G minor 7, C7, I'm just going to maybe take one chord, two chord, whatever, as many chords as I want, the 2, 4, 5, or 7, trying to get to the one chord. Okay, so not to bore you with all of that stuff, but you can go all day if you have enough chord inversions, you know how to add colors to chords, creating in-key 5 chords, or in-key tension to rest chords, as I call them, okay? Unresolved chords to F. F unresolved, okay? All the chords that have the note B flat in them, okay? So now, if you look at the tritone substitute, the F sharp 7th, the F sharp 7th is part of the key of B. Well, let's go back a second, okay? The C7th, if we add altered notes to the C7th, flat 9, sharp 5, flat 5, those all suggest other keys, okay? So now, instead of adding colors to the C7th chord, you could, one of the common keys that is used is what I call the flat 3 key. You use the key that's up a minor third, which in this case would be the key of A flat, as a substitute for the C7th chord, okay? Now, when you do that, what happens is its 2, 4, 5, and 7 can be used in the same way as you were using the 2, 4, 5, 7 in the key of F, okay? So instead of using a G minor 7th, you know, for 2 measures, you could use, up a step and a half, the 2 chord of the key of A flat. A flat minor, or B flat minor 7th, okay? B flat minor 7th, E flat dominant 7th, right? You have G minor 7 flat 5, or F. Let me get this together. Okay, where was I? This thing exploded on me. Last time I tried it, it just totally demolished my movie. I had nothing, okay? So I'm doing them in short little bursts here. Okay, so what was I talking about? I was talking about you can substitute chords from the key of A flat. A flat major unresolved is represented by the 2, 4, 5, and 7. Okay, adding colors to any of those, you now create something that is an altered C7th, among many, many, many other things. I just don't have enough time to talk about them all. Okay, so if you want to alter, if you want to play something as a substitute for the C7th, when you add a sharp 9, a flat 9, a sharp 5, or a flat 5, you can use a B flat minor 7th, a D flat major 7th, a G minor 7 flat 5, and an E flat 7th. In any combination, okay, I'm using very small, you know, versions that people use in the beginning, but when you start doing things, you can start adding colors to them, like the 9, 11, and 13 we talked about that could be added to the chords in the key of F. You could do the same thing in the key of A flat. Okay, so instead of going to altered 5, I can go 2, move it up a minor third, and then resolve out to the 1 chord. Very simple. Okay, I can take the 5 chord, move that up a minor third, go into the flat 3 key, the key of A flat, resolve that out to an F. And I'm not even adding any colors to these chords, it's just straight ahead stuff, okay? I can take the E minor 7 flat 5, which is the 7 chord of the key of F, move that up a minor third, resolve it to F. All of those movements upward are my 2, 5, 1. Specifically, the substitute for the 5 is the entire flat 3 key with its 4th as the primary note which creates the tension, okay? So now if I manipulate all of those chords, okay, I'll take something like a B flat major 7 with a sharp 4. That's a 4 chord with its proper color added in the key of F. I'm going to move it up a minor third. I get a D flat major 7 with a sharp 4. I'm going to resolve it out to a A minor 7 suspended 4th. Because the A minor 7th is a substitute for the 1. It doesn't have the B flat note in it. So I'm going to... That's my 2, 5, 1. So instead of... Okay, so I'm just going to play things as substitutes for the 5 chord. I'm going to totally disregard the 2 chord, just as if I'm doing something like a. There's my 2-5-1 without the 2. Get these very subtle resolutions. Back to the 2 chord. So you can make the direction go any way you want to. It's either going to go up or down. I've never seen any of this music go sideways. It just goes up or down. So which way do you want to go? How you want to voice lead? You want to have a subtle voice leading? You want to have a big gigantic, like, sounds like you're way out with all of this stuff. You want to sound like. So one low, one high, one low, and so forth. Or do you want it to be very, very subtle? Like, let's say we did something like coming out of the flat 3 key now. Okay, that's the 2 chord of the key of A flat with the 9th added to it, which could be called A flat major, D flat major 7. There's so many different names for these things. That's why you want to know what the names are to get you to a point where you start manipulating the sound and then forget the names. Just think of the sound. So you get. I'm going to resolve into an F chord. So I'm going to go. Even subtler. Or maybe. Not very subtle. Okay, so that's the 5 chord. Okay, altered. Use notes out of the flat 3 key. Use the chords out of the flat 3 key to create so much movement. It's so way beyond thinking of a 5 chord or a 5 chord altered. Okay, different combinations. There's so many things you could do. Okay, I gotta stop this. All right, now let's hope this is working. Now we're going to talk about the tritone substitute, okay, the F sharp 7th. Remember, everything is part of something. If that were the 5, if that is the 5 chord of the B flat, is the way I'm looking at it now, then this is its 2. This is its 5, and this is its 1. So that means this, because it contains the 4th note of the key of B, can be turned into a resolved B by taking that 1 note out. That's a B. Take the note out. Real easy. Okay, so the idea is, I talked about it before, the 4th note of the major scale, of any major scale, creates that unresolved, resolved sound. Okay, so now we're going to be dealing with the tritone keys, unresolved, unresolved. So B major, unresolved, would be its 2, 4, 5, and 7. Okay, so now, that's the 2. Okay, this is the 5. This is the 4. Okay, back the 7 chord of the key of B. Okay, Okay, so you have all of these 7 chords. Okay, 2s, 5s, 1s. If you have 10 inversions of each of these chords, okay, and that's minimum. 10 inversions of each of these chords, the 2, the 4, 5, and 7. Okay, you have 10 times 4 is 40 different ways to create what's called tritone substitutes, okay, in which case they only give you one F sharp 7th, okay, you can color it this way, that way, but we got 40 now. If you start adding colors to each of those chords, 9, 11, and 13, the proper one in the key, you now have, I'd say, virtually endless supply of ways to create a 2, 5, 1 by substituting what they call the tritone substitutes. They usually look at it as if it's one chord. I mean, it's a rule. Rules are not important. What are important are concepts, okay? If you get the concept that the F sharp represents an entire key, it represents B major 7th unresolved, you have a lot more stuff that you can use when you're creating chord movement. Okay, so instead of going G minor 7th to C 7th to F major 7th, we're going to go G minor 7th to F sharp 7th. Now I can color that F sharp 7th with 9, 11, 13, you know, and all this stuff. I can put flat 5s in it. I can alter it and do all kinds of things to it. When you alter it, you actually get into other scale types, but let's not worry about that right now. We're going to stick with just being in the key. Okay, so now instead of going 2, half step dominant, flat 2 dominant 1, I'm going to combine that with the key of B's 2 chord. So, okay, then maybe I'll combine it with the key, just go right to the 4 chord of the key. So I get, move it up a half step, I got my F. So that was B major unresolved. This is 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 B major unresolved. So we get 2, half step dominant, F. Okay, 2, flat 3 key, move it up a step and a half. I'm in the sharp 4 key. Okay, so what we're talking about here is key substitutes, not chord substitutes, because chords represent an isolated tunnel vision way of looking at things. But when you think about chords as being part of something, they are part of an entire key. You now get key substitutes. You get all the notes of a key to use instead of just the isolated 4 notes in the F sharp 7th chord. You get all 7 notes to use. Just combine the other 6 notes with that unresolved note of the key of, in this case, B, and you now have a wealth of stuff that you can do when you're playing chords. Also, too, for soloing. You got a 2, 5, 1, right? Okay, over the 5 chord. That chord does not have to be altered for you to do something when you're soloing. What should I go to? Well, stick a sharp 9 in there, you know, so you get the... So I'm going to go. Well, I don't know if that is going to make an effective solo if I have to find my sharp 9s all over the fretboard. Why don't you just think, move the scale that you just played up a step and a half, and you'll have a 3 of the altered notes that you need on this chord. Flat 9, sharp 9, sharp 5. So okay, so now that makes a nice line. What I did is I went to F, and then I thought, I'm over this chord, I'm going to go up a minor 3rd to the key of A flat, and then resolve out to a note in the key of F that's not the 4th. So G minor 7th or B flat major 7th combined with an E flat 9th is my 2, 5, 1. I'm going to solo over that, thinking that. Maybe over this, I'm going to think a B flat major 7th arpeggio with a G minor. Here comes the C7 with the flat. I'm going to think an E flat dominant arpeggio. then resolve out to F. So we got, I mean, the sky is, it's unlimited what you could do in terms of potential soloing and scales. Now, if you go up to the sharp fourth key, you go up another minor third. So I went. There I changed midstream. I went to an E flat, D flat major seventh, arpeggio of the C seventh. Now the D flat minor seventh, okay, is the 2 chord of the key of B. So I went to that next as an arpeggio. So I started with the D flat major seventh, which is the 4 chord out of the flat 3 key. Now this is over the 5 chord. You know? So that was the key of B. So here's the key of A flat. And then here's, except for that last note is part of the key of B. So 2, 5 altered, right? Oh, there's so many different ways to put this stuff together. Okay, I'm getting tired now.